You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Good evening. It's a beautiful Wednesday evening and time for the news that comes to you with the extra touch. From me, it's good to be on the show for the first time. Tonight, we kick off with the Federal Executive Council and the decisions taken by the members. Of course, this is the season of flooding and we have updates on situations across the country. There is also politics in the air. We have stories on political developments too. This is coupled with on agriculture, aviation, economy, security, sports, and much more. Well, let's not dwell on what is in the news tonight. Let's get on with the news. I am Kende Imba Abodike, and this is News Extra. Welcome. The Federal Executive Council has approved the concessioning of 20 out of the existing silos belonging to the federal government across the country for effective utilization. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audu Owe, who announced this while briefing newsmen after the meeting of the council, was however emphatic that the action is not in any way an attempt by the federal government to renege on its responsibility of guaranteeing food security. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the council also deliberated on the flood situation in parts of the country.
Nigeria currently has 33 silos constructed by the federal government over the last 10 years with a capacity of more than 1.3 million metric tons of grains. The silos are spread almost evenly across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country.
In 2014, government decided to privatize or concession some of these silos so the private sector can help use them and pay a fee to the federal government. The process was carried on by the World Bank, the Concession Committee of Government, NGOs, the private sector, and the Ministry of Agri. It has taken this long to arrive at this because we wanted absolute accountability.
With President Muhammadu Buhari presiding, the council approved that 20 of the silos be concessioned to earn for government 6 billion naira in the 10-year period of the first instance. The council, however, insists that the concessionaires who are unable to manage the silos well will have their concessions revoked.
Private sector groups with these silos in their possession will drive the production of grains in local communities where these things grow more suitably. We have requests for grains from different parts of the world like soybeans, sesame, sorghum, and millet. We also have massive rice production going on, and groups like Aliko Dangote are going into rice production now, and Koscharis. They need these silos. So concessioning it to them means that they will get to organize local groups to produce grains for them to dry properly, store, and put in the market when the need arises or even export.
The federal government, the minister said, is maintaining 6 of the silos so that 5% of all the grains being harvested in Nigeria every year be kept in line with global best practice. The Federal Executive Council was also briefed on the flood situation across Nigeria by the Minister of Water Resources, Suleiman Adamu. He said with the intensity of rains, the ministry has been observing the flow of River Niger, and as at Wednesday morning, the water level rose to 11.19 meters.
The good thing is that we still haven't reached the maximum value of 12.84 meters, which was the situation in 2012 when we had the flood. And secondly, contrary to reports that have been in the social media and sometimes in the news, there has been no water release from Lagdo Dam in Cameroon.
That notwithstanding, the minister said there is still intense flooding across the country, which is likely to continue for some time until the rains subside.
We want to appeal to communities within the river channels and floodplain areas to be very wary of residing on water courses and in floodplains so that we can at least reduce the incidence of deaths and destruction of property.
What did you bring the Executive Council?
Well, we gave them a situation report, explained to them how prepared we are, so explained to them the structures on ground in preparation for response if the situation continues.
The Federal Ministry of Water Resources makes it clear that it has a long-term plan of abating flooding in Nigeria, as already it has commenced a master plan study of rivers Niger and Benue to not only control their flow situation, but also achieve meaningful navigation and reclaim some of the lands for tourism and agricultural purposes. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Now, in the past weeks, Nigeria is again witnessing what has become a perennial problem, flooding. Like always, it has come again, claiming lives, destroying property, and rendering many homeless. More worrisome for many are indications that a repeat of the 2012 massive flooding is imminent if water is released from the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon. Did I hear you say, heavens forbid? But how prepared is Nigeria to stem this annual cycle of ravaging floods? And what is the attitude to warning signals and interventions? Over to Talatun Ezirike.
The rains are heavy, as indicated by daily weather report.
Some cities in the country recorded high amounts of rainfall in the last 24 hours, with Lokoja recording as high as about 73.8 millimeters.
Information, they say, is power, and trust the conventional media for timely and accurate reportage.
From the electronics to the print, the trending story is that of flooding, dominating major discourse.
Houses are gone, people are gone, all because of flooding.
What's the work of the town planners? Why can't them now remedy the situation on time?
There are apprehensions, especially with reports of increase in the volume of water in rivers and dams, spelling more doom for coastal line areas. Indicators are pointing to another disaster, likened to the scale of the massive flooding of 2012 if water is released from the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon. Interestingly, the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA has declared national disaster in 4 states and placed 8 other frontline states under strict monitoring, as well as beefed up interventions for any eventuality.
The communities were identified, personnel of various skills were deployed there, such as rescue relief personnel, and the President made it very, very clear to us. If we can stop the losing a single life, we must do all we can to stop it.
We embark on serious sensitization to our locals. Minister of Agric, do key in. Look for better, improved agric seeds to go to the farm.
But can some good be derived from flooding?
The water is brackish, is brown, is full of sedimentation and fine silt. Literally, this is full fertilizer flowing. Fantastic for agriculture.
Not only should Nigeria have some national vulnerability mapping system, which is the next level that NEMA should go to. The local authorities can take and say, you cannot site that building there.
Well, the general advice is for a rethink over some man-made actions that give rise to flooding and even climate change for healthy environment. Talati Ezorike, NTA News.
Imbibing environment-friendly habits is key to tackling the current flooding menace. This is contained in a communique at the end of a two-day workshop on ways to evolve a national framework for flood emergency response and management in the country. Elizabeth Owutuama reports that it is at the instance of Edo State Government and the ECOWAS Early Warning Mechanism Center.
The workshop, in response to predictions by the Nigerian Meteorological and National Hydrological Agencies, also states that it is imperative to put robust plans in place to mitigate the effect of natural disasters in the country. The gathering recalls the flood disaster of 2012, which affected 7,705,398 persons, 2,157,149 displaced, and 363 people dead, highlighting that in Edo State alone, about 35 communities have been sacked by flood, occasioned by persistent rainfall and overflow of riverbanks in the last few weeks. Community heads, the communique states, have a role to play in educating the people on the need to keep the environment clean.
Each local government should have a contingency plan in place, and we are now going to develop a state contingency plan.
We expect all our local government chairmen to come up with their own proposals.
A roadwork to sensitize the people on the dangers associated with the indiscriminate dumping of waste rounded off the workshop.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the synergy between the state and federal governments has contributed in no small measure to mitigating the outcome of the flood disaster witnessed in some parts of the country. Professor Yemi Osinbajo stated this during an assessment visit to an IDP's camp in Zungeru, Wushishi local government area of Niger State. Dauda Mohammed reports that the Vice President visit is in continuation of assessment tour of states ravaged by flood across the country.
Niger State is one of the states worst hit by flood, with about 17,636 people in 22 local government areas affected by this year's flood disaster. Presently, some of those internally displaced by the flood are being temporarily catered for in 2 camps, while 5 more camps are being proposed to cater for the about 16,000 victims currently taken aboard with relatives on safer grounds. One of such internally displaced people's camp is the one located at the Central Primary School Zungeru, Wushishi local government area. The camp, which until a few days ago had 477 inmates, now has 479, with the birth of a baby boy and girl from 20-year-old Samira Hassan and 40-year-old Hawa Mohammed, both displaced by flood from their community, Gungun Shiroro. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, during his visit to assess the facilities put in place, assured those displaced that President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the release of funds to temporarily resettle those affected by the disaster, adding that directive has also been given for the supply of building materials so that construction will begin on the resettlement site.
I think we have a very good response here, and I'm extremely proud of the work that the state government officials, federal government officials have done. But it's only the beginning. I'm here, as you know, to take a look at what to do in terms of a medium-term solution.
Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, while appealing for more assistance from the federal government, added that hundreds of communities have been affected by this year's flood in the state. Ambassador Mohammed Manta, who spoke on behalf of the affected communities, thanked the Vice President for the visit and called for a permanent resettlement of the affected communities.
Since the onset of the flood disaster about a week ago, those displaced by the flood waters have been living in uncertainty. But the visit by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has given them renewed hope for a better tomorrow. From Zungeru Central Primary School, Wushishi local government area of Niger State, I am Dauda Mohammed.
More than 7,000 persons in Niger State have been displaced by floods in the last 3 months. To cushion the effect of the flood, the state government has released about 90 million naira for the purchase of relief materials for the victims. Mary Noel Berge reports.
Flood in Niger State has continued to ravage more farmlands, public and private buildings, while the death toll has risen to 41. 16 local government areas are the worst hit among the 22 affected, with the number of displaced persons put at about 7,000. 1,000 of these are being camped by the state government in Zungeru and Kakakiri, while 6,000 victims are taken aboard with relatives in safer communities.
All our farm, our houses, and our other structure, the water has already engulfed all of them.
We never seen something happen like this.
With the state recording more damages, the state government has moved in to cushion the effect by releasing about 90 million naira for the purchase of assorted grains, comprising 1,000 bags of rice, maize, sorghum, and gari each, as well as palm oil and vegetable oil. Investigation, however, reveals that flood situation in Niger State has been aggravated by the release of water from the surrounding hydroelectric dams in the state, coupled with illegal structures built on waterways.
Some of those places, they are ancestral homes, but we have to continue to communicate to them the dangers. We have to request for support from the government.
Niger State government says it has expended about 900 million naira on disaster management in the last 3 years. Mary Nopershi, NTA News.
It is no longer news that flood is one of the most mentioned words in Nigeria today. This is not surprising considering the havoc floods are wreaking on communities all over the country. But the concern of the government and people of Jigawa State is how the flood is by the day dashing the hopes of bumper harvest that was being expected this year. Abdullahi Garba Berini Kudu gives us an insight into the situation.
Available information from the assessment of the Jigawa State government confirms that 15 persons were killed by the flood, 431 towns and villages submerged, 2 major roads cut off from the state capital, as well as 1,200 flood-related health elements recorded in 14 out of the 27 local government areas of the state. Of concern to the people of the state, however, is how the flood washed away more than 94,000 hectares of cultivable farmlands almost ready for harvest. The situation agriculturalists believe forces trade to the expected bumper harvest in 2018 and eventually may lead to food crisis.
All the rice that has been planted along the river beds, along the river banks, surrounding areas have been lost, and likewise also guinea corn. Guinea corn is usually planted in intercrop with rice, in some cases a sole crop. And like I said, the upland areas where you have also millet that is just about to mature or is just maturing, unfortunately is also submerged.
The state government, however, says it is not resting on its oars, as it is making arrangements to intervene in the situation.
The plan is as soon as the water starts to recede, we'll provide these seedlings so that they can use the residual moisture to quickly plant these early varieties of cereals, which should be ready for harvest in about 2.5 months. Then we still need to provide food as an intervention, otherwise we'll have a food crisis on our hands.
Meanwhile, government is calling for the declaration of Jigawa State as a disaster zone for the enormity of the flood.
Well, despite the damage caused by this flood, life goes on in Dusi and other communities in Jigawa State. But the repercussion of this flood may affect everybody because of the effect it has on the agricultural produce. What is required is all hands must be on deck to mitigate the flood in the future. From Dusi in Jigawa State, Abdullahi Garba Bernokudu, NTA News.
Now, as the victims of flooding grapples with the loss of lives and property, another major challenge that has continued to pose danger to the lives of the victims has been the outbreak of epidemics from the flooded waters. This situation may soon be a thing of the past as the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, deploys water purification trucks to the 4 states under disaster emergency to avert the epidemics. Eliasu Ali Yakubu examines the deployment of the purification trucks vis-a-vis earlier challenge.
Flooding is usually associated with health challenges as the flooded water gets contaminated, thereby posing danger to the lives of the affected communities. This situation, experts say, has been a major challenge in the event of flooding. Owing to this development, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has devised a means of purifying the flooded waters for domestic use in the affected areas.
The advantage this machine has over every other one is that while purifying, immediately it comes out because it has chlorine inside of it, and it uses the reverse osmosis and the ultrafiltration, making the water very, very hygienic for people to drink immediately it comes out.
This initiative, experts say, is commendable for the overall well-being of the flooded communities.
We don't want a situation where there will be an outbreak of cholera in the camps. So what we do is we deploy these machines. That's why they are for emergencies. They get there, they start operation in 1 hour. You can have 1,000 liters of clean drinking water.
As NEMA declares a state of a national disaster in 4 states of Niger, Kogi, Anambra and Delta, the water volume has continued to increase progressively, with the latest volume put at 11.16. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliyakubu, NTA News.
Indeed, efforts have been made to see that the flooding disaster becomes a thing of the past in our country. Now, away from flooding, as part of efforts to ensure lasting peace in Guinea-Bissau and facilitate the peaceful conduct of parliamentary elections in November, ECOWAS Chairman President Muhammadu Buhari has dispatched a ministerial delegation to the country to meet with all political actors. The team, led by Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyema, comprises ECOWAS President Jean-Claude Brou and other top officials, met with the President of Guinea-Bissau, José Mario Vaz, the Prime Minister and ECOWAS mediator for Guinea-Bissau, among others. During the meeting, issues regarding the challenges of funding and logistics compliance with Peace and Stability Pact, as well as reforms and capacity building for the electoral body, were raised. Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyema also told members of the P5, comprising of the EU, AU and UNDP, that President Muhammadu Buhari, as ECOWAS chairman, is committed to ensuring the continued stability of Guinea-Bissau. President of Guinea-Bissau, Mario Vaz, conveyed his country's appreciation to Nigeria for the donation of 150 electoral kits that are urgently needed for voter registration and conduct of the elections. Up ahead, federal government put on hold plans to revamp the national carrier as President Buhari stops police from arresting PDP's candidate in this Saturday's governorship election in Osun State. These and more after the break.
Hello, Auntie Kay. How is Atlanta? I'm just getting ready for a photo shoot. Got my makeup on.
Hey, Klaus, how you doing? How is Germany?
I'm gonna... Hold on, 1 minute.
I haven't seen the containers yet. Oh, they are still in India.
Hello, Mama. Guess who's online?
Hey, Rajesh, what time is it in India?
How is South Africa, Mama?
Aren't you spending too much on calls now?
Don't you worry about it, Mama, because with Glow, you only need to pay 200 Naira a month and you get up to 85% discount on all calls to over 200 international destinations.
See, I'm going to let you guys sort this out.
Now. Time for the photo shoot. Love you. Bye.
Where's the photographer?
Hey, my friend. How are things going in Canada?
Glow International Call Slasher. Pay 200 Naira monthly fee to get up to 85% discount to call over 200 international destinations. Dial *777# to choose your plan. The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
In Nigeria, there is one sound we need to silence. So let's silence toothache before it starts with Oral-B All-Round Protection. Its advanced technology helps prevent both tooth holes and gum problems that can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your teeth, giving them all-round protection. Because the only sound we really want to hear is that of our future. For healthier, stronger teeth in 1 week.
The President of the Nigerian Mining and Geosciences Society and the Director General of the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency present the NMGS NGSA Discourse Series, theme, Geothermal Energy Resources of Nigeria, an untapped potential for socio-economic development. Chairman, Professor Ibrahim Garba, Vice Chancellor, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Venue, Ladi Kwali Hall, Sheraton Hotels and Towers, Abuja. Date, 20th September 2018. Time, 9 a.m. Chief host, Honorable Abubakar Bawa Buhari, Minister of State, Mines and Steel Development. Organizing Committee announcer.
So Clean, the detergent brand trusted by millions of Nigerians. For decades, its 30% concentrated formula has been trusted to wash faster, brighter, cleaner. So Clean with stain magnet technology. The advanced enzyme formula pulls trapped dirt out of fiber like a magnet. So Clean with stain magnet technology for even better stain removal.
An indigenous company with investors across Nigeria, Galaxy Intercontinental Miners Concept Limited, a subsidiary of Galaxy Transportation and Construction Companies, is committed to providing our clients the best. What more? Patronizing us is not just a business transaction, but committing to the economic development of our great country, Nigeria. 5% of our profits goes to charity, IDPs, and orphanages. Our branches are located off Abuja, Kaduna Road, Jere Local Government, and Jikoko Mpape, Abuja. For details, call
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Your detergent and with new look Ariel.
Ariel, now in a new look pack.
Welcome back to NTA News Extra. The long-awaited national air carrier, the Nigerian Air, which was due to kick off in December this year, has been suspended. Minister of State Aviation Hadi Sirika broke the news to the media in Abuja.
The federal government of Nigeria has taken the decision to suspend the national carrier project for some strategic reasons. So there's no argument from stakeholders to say that we should not proceed. No.
Emmanuel Ayimiro reports that although the consultation and the planned re-establishment of the national carrier took over 2 years, the minister is convinced that the efforts is not in vain.
The resources that we spent in the last 2.5 years trying to get to the end of this procurement speaks for us. And also the viability of the project, especially the outline business case that has been developed, has shown to the world that this is a serious venture and this is a serious government. And we're serious about it, to do it. But since I say it is strategic, it is part of the strategy whenever we come back in our government or in future governments to do it. I'm sure the international community will believe in us and will believe as to the reasons which we advance to suspend it for now.
Serika says the suspension has nothing to do with pressure from any quarter. As Nigerians prepare to mark the 58th Independence Day celebration, the organizing committee has rolled out the activities to commemorate with the historic event with the theme, Harnessing Our Diversity for National Development. Linda Ogidi reports.
Permanent Secretary and Chairman, 2018 Independence Day Central Organizing Committee, Gabriel Aduda says that the federal government has approved series of activities to mark the event. According to him, there will be a photo exhibition of the national history on 25th to 27th of this month with the theme
Footprints of our political leaders. This event will run for 3 days at the International Conference Center in Abuja at 9 a.m. daily.
Part of the activities lineup include rehearsals and simulations by various agencies preparatory to the D-Day.
Movement of military hardware, as well as flight maneuvers by fast-moving Air Force jets and helicopters from the Federal Capital Territory airspace. The major affected airspaces will include the Eagle Square, the Three Arm Zone, Kefi, Ado, Orozo, Karu, Yanyan, Guzape, and Asokoro areas.
He advised Nigerians not to panic at the sight and sound of these personnel and equipment maneuvers by the military and other paramilitary agencies. Linda Ogidi, NTA News.
We now go to politics. Those who followed political developments in the run-up to the 2015 general elections, especially in terms of advertorials, will tell you it was not a pretty scene. Well, it's that time again when politics and political activities heighten. This time around, the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCAN, says it is working towards ensuring standards and obedience to the rule of law amongst politicians during the electioneering process. Political correspondent Salihu Abdullahi says the council hopes to achieve this through enhanced public awareness campaigns on the need to shun acts and speeches capable of overheating the polity.
As political activities gather momentum, politicians are expected to share various campaign messages with the people, especially the electorate. Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON, as part of its pre-election strategy towards a hitch-free exercise, is involving key stakeholders, particularly those on political advertisement, to keep them abreast of the provisions of the law as they disseminate political messages.
We realized that the last dispensation, there were lots of hate speeches in all the media. And so we are trying to avoid a repeat of such. That's why we're organizing this conference. And at the same time, enjoying the media houses to continue to be the gatekeepers they are. They should not collect materials that are unwholesome.
The council has also widened its scope of coverage and method of reaching out to the people by adopting local languages as part of its public awareness campaign strategies. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Now, the National Working Committee of APC has approved the review of the timetable for the conduct of the 2018 primary elections. In a statement signed by the National Organizing Secretary, Emma Ibediro, presidential primary election will hold on the 25th September 2018, while the governorship primary election will hold on the 29th September 2018. 2nd, 3rd and 4th October 2018 are for Senate, House of Representatives and State Houses of Assembly primary election. The statement added that APC National Convention to elect 8 presidential candidates will hold on 6th October 2018. As political parties across the country fine-tune to get candidates that will vie for elective offices in the 2019 general elections, the All Progressives Congress APC in Kwara State has organized a parley for its gubernatorial aspirants in Ilorin, the state capital, with the leader Lai Mohammed presiding. Anthony Forson reports.
It was a gathering of the real faces of the party in Kwara State. The members have come together with a resolve to show their loyalty to the APC. Leader of the party in the state, Lai Mohammed, in setting the tone for the parley, said it is one of a kind in the state, as the leadership is committed in giving everyone a sense of belonging, hence the need for the aspirants to come to the table with their mission for the state and its people.
We have not and we do not intend to predetermine the outcome of our primaries.
With this, the minister assured that they will conduct a credible exercise.
Please let me warn. This is not a jamboree. There are assessors among us here, and they've been given criteria for assessing every aspirant.
Then the aspirants took turns to address the gathering.
I shall be innovative with education, job creation, poverty reduction, agriculture, agro-industrial care, infrastructure, and the issue of local government joint account.
If I have the opportunity to become the governor of Kwara State, we are going to run a government that actually follows the yearning of the people of Kwara State, because at the heart of governance must be the people and their concern.
This is a clear departure from the Mofouin hegemonic system.
He assured them that the party will not be biased towards any aspirant and will expect them to close ranks and work in the interest of the party and the state in general. In Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has ordered the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, to stop the invitation of the PDP candidate in the forthcoming Osun State governorship election, Senator Ademola Adeleke, to the force headquarters for now. Senator Adeleke was summoned to answer questions on examination malpractice, criminal conspiracy, impersonation, and breach of duty leveled against him and 4 others. According to sources in the presidency, the Nigerian leader ordered that Adeleke should not be invited until after Saturday's election. The police public relations officer, acting DCP Jimo Moshood, had in a statement invited Adeleke and 4 others to report to the Special Investigation Panel, Force Headquarters, Abuja, immediately for arraignment in court. He believes in the philosophy of seeing is believing as a manifestation of accountability leadership under the Buhari administration. And so for 8 years, Governor Umaru Tanko Al-Makura of Nasarawa State has gone to work in all key economic sectors with infrastructure development, promoting people's welfare and peaceful coexistence to show for it. With this scorecard and as a reward for hard work, the people of Nasarawa South Senatorial Zone are unanimous that the governor should represent them in the capacity of a senator. Joshua Ojito tells us more about this.
Do hereby accept the yearnings of my people.
If exemplifying trust and meeting expectations is key in governance, the people say the modest achievements of Governor Umaru Tanko Al-Makura over the years stands him out. The governor has worked in the areas of development ranging from the provision of critical infrastructure to opening up the agrarian state and ensuring safety net programs reach the doorstep of the common man. The impact of the administration, which has since changed the face of Nasarawa State, remains the bastion of hope and actualization of the dreams of founding fathers. The constituency for the election, Nasarawa South Senatorial Zone, home to the capital of the state, is melting pot of diverse ethnic groups and interests forging a common front for the governor to represent them at the Senate. From the Tif to Alago and the people of Lafia, as well as unions, have unanimously endorsed the aspiration.
The Tif people have sat down and carefully looked at his past record and have decided to join him unanimously.
We are celebrating people that actually worked for our people rather than people who merely want to capitalize on sentiment.
And by the grace of God, we are going to give him our support 100%.
In my family, we have almost 30 votes, and I believe that me and my family will vote for him.
The initiative is also coming with the support for President Buhari re-election in 2019. Governor Al-Makura, who has answered the clarion call by the people to stand for the election, says it's another opportunity to serve humanity for overall development.
With the unanimous and almost 100% support, Nasarawa State has capped all that it has done. This gives you an indication that Nasarawa State is a highly peaceful state, and with this peace status, we are going to win any election.
The governor says as he looks forward to the mandate, appeals to the people is to always ensure peaceful and harmonious coexistence for a prosperous future. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
In a bid to complement the government's efforts of entrenching the desired democratic culture for Nigeria, the All Progressives Grand Alliance, Abuja, says it is set to conduct free, fair and credible primary elections within the principles of the party's platform. Chukuna Sonwabweze reports that these formed part of the resolutions reached at the end of the party's National Working Committee meeting in Abuja.
Politics and issues concerning elections have lately dominated public discourse in the country, especially against the backdrop of the forthcoming 2019 general elections. Political parties in their preparations towards the general elections have, in their individual conduct of primaries, pursued the fundamentals of internal democracy with vigor. It is in this regard that the National Working Committee of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, is imbibing in its members set principles of togetherness to present candidates for the elections that will enjoy the support of all card-carrying members of the party for success at the general elections.
ABGA has now got its presidential and vice presidential aspirants. So it's no longer speculation. Our presidential candidate will be unveiled as soon as our national convention is held.
The All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, also enjoined the electorates to be law-abiding. In Abuja, Chukuna Sonwabweze, NTA News.
And still talking politics, the re-election bid of President Muhammadu Buhari in the 2019 election has continued to receive support from well-meaning individuals and groups. The latest is from a member of the Bauchi State House of Assembly, Mariam Garba, who donated vehicles to the Presidential Support Council Buhari Oshimbajo 2019. Political correspondent Salihu Abdullahi has that report.
Senior Special Assistant to the President on Political Matters, Gideon Samani, receiving the vehicles on behalf of the Presidential Support Council. He commended the gesture and called on other well-meaning Nigerians to support genuine cause capable of positively impacting the political environment and creating platform for visionary leaders to emerge.
This administration is different, and Mr. President will not even be happy to hear that they dip our hands into the treasuries of this administration, to take and use it for his campaign. He doesn't believe in it, and he has said no to it. So this one is voluntary.
For me to belong to this very important committee that will work towards bringing back our president to office. My belief in what he will do to kind of improve our nation.
The Presidential Support Council for Buhari Oshimbajo 2019 is the parent body for over 300 different Buhari support groups, which is independent of government or any political affiliation. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Vice President Oshimbajo parleys with petty traders in Nyanya Market, plus effects of post-harvest losses. Join us after these messages for details.
My promise to my child: I am not your friend. I am your mother. I will stalk you, debate you, and hunt you down if I have to. Because when it comes to protecting you, there's no such thing as too tough. That's why every night, I insist on Baygon Multi-Insect Killer for tough mosquito protection before bedtime, so I know my loved ones can fall asleep protected. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
Whenever pain occurs, you want quick relief.
Try new Nurofen Express. It goes to the source of pain and gets to work in under 15 minutes. That's why Nurofen Express delivers fast and effective relief. New Nurofen Express works at the source of pain. Fast.
Being a mom is great, but when your child has a fever, you don't know what to do. I trust Nurofen for Children to take care of my child's pain and fever.
Effective relief you can trust.
Your detergent and with New Look Ariel.
Ariel, now in a new look pack.
Alright kids, today you're all going to tell me how you all spent your holidays. So the essay will be... Who did that? Who did that?
Of the new school session with great tasting Indomie noodles. Hurry now and get yours. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Fake news which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security in Nigeria. Misinformation as fake news is a serious threat to our hard-earned democracy and promotes hatred and misunderstanding between our communities. We are all responsible for stopping the spread of fake news in its tracks. So, always check the source and credibility of any news item. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Thank you for staying with us on the NTA News Extra. Manufacturing experts across advocate a reduction of 5% interest rate in borrowing to the sector, and the Nigerian stock market remain in negative territory. For these and more on Business News segment, let's join Amaka O.
Good evening and welcome to Business News. The contribution of the manufacturing sector to the growth of the nation's GDP in the first quarter of 2018 declined from 159 million naira to 153 million naira in the second quarter of this year. As part of measures to stimulate growth of the sector in the third quarter, experts advocate a review of interest rates from its current 9% to 5%.
But I still think that if we truly want to develop the manufacturing sector, 5% is the ideal number. And if government takes advantage of that, we can really improve on our infrastructure, because our development industrially, or this economy, depends strictly on how much infrastructure we have on ground. And everybody knows that, and government is working on that.
With more than 48% of the nation's population below the age of 25, analysts believe there is need to build a knowledge-based economy and domesticate the value chain embedded in the nation's natural resources.
We have an unimaginable human capital that we could develop. If we improve the quality of education, we're going to have several incubation centers, because we have the entrepreneurial spirit in the country. Already we are seeing in places like Yaba where you have IT incubation centers.
Utilize the raw materials from each area, convert them to industrial goods rather than exporting raw materials.
A consistent downward trend experienced in the stock market has been attributed to political issues. Investors have been advised to key into the Naira cost averaging to stay afloat.
A seasoned investor should do what I call Naira cost averaging. Naira cost averaging simply means that you continue to invest every month, buy shares, whether the price is up or down. At the end of the day, it will average out and then you will not lose.
We now leave you with graphic details of movements of stocks.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo this Wednesday visited the Nyanya market in the suburb of the Federal Capital Territory in continuation of the federal government's drive towards empowering micro and small enterprises owners. The Vice President, on arrival at the market at about noon, interacted with some of the petty traders, explaining that government is concerned about their welfare and would do everything possible to achieve the aim of banishing poverty among the people. He said government was offering the support to petty traders in Nigeria to assist in boosting their business through collateral-free loan. The Vice President said every petty trader is eligible to benefit from the scheme and urged micro and small business owners across the country to take advantage of the Trader Money Scheme to improve their business. It is always a painful sight to see foodstuff going waste in the midst of cries of hunger in the land. Now, how will you feel if I tell you that half of the food being produced by farmers is wasted? The loss, we are told, occurs along the production, harvests and storage chain. The good news here is that the Benue State University and the World Bank are challenging agriculturists to come up with ways to address post-harvest losses in West Africa. Musa Baba Aliyu will tell us more about it.
Farmers across West Africa have already harvested most of their crops, while others are in the process of harvesting, especially now. Flood is becoming a major threat to the crops. Most of the farmers cultivating small portion of land have invested in their production on the purchase of inputs, labor, including transportation. Despite this investment, only 1/3 of the harvested produce could reach home, as most of them will be wasted in the process of harvesting.
Resources are dwindling and farmers are not able to produce enough even to match with population growth. So it's a serious problem that the little that we even produce is still lost due to post-harvest losses.
Agriculturists here are to discuss the effect of post-harvest losses on food security in West Africa and the way to address the challenge.
The whole essence, therefore, is to find policies to mitigate that, to be able to expose ourselves to the local technologies that we have that can also mitigate that.
All this impede on the socio-economic status of our people and calls for all-inclusive approach to provide a lasting solution.
The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations says due to poor handling of crops during and after harvest, farmers in West Africa lose food valued at over $10 billion every year. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Over 782 persons, including those living with disabilities, have become beneficiaries of the rice and fish farming projects in Delta State. Tacy Coker was among journalists who went on inspection of the facilities.
Governor Kowa, represented by his Chief Job Creation Officer, Professor Eric Cable, read out the successes recorded in the past 3 years of his administration in agriculture.
The rice that is going to come out from this whole enterprise is high quality rice. We would appeal to His Excellency that he will also help us promote the marketing of the rice.
The media men were taken to the 42 hectares rice farm in Sapele local government, established this year, where harvesting and treasury were going simultaneously.
We have had cooperation from the trainees, and they have shown the zeal to cultivate and process rice.
Ugbokodo farm of 154 fish ponds, which is the largest cluster in that area, was also inspected. The last port of call was the Agricultural Development Program's fish pond in Igbuzo of 81 fish pond capacity to 27 Yagé produce. in Asaba. Tessie, Coca, NTA News.
Operatives of the Comptroller General of Customs Special Strike Force are reporting more successes in the fight against smuggling activities around Lagos. The latest is the seizure of more imported rice and arrest of 4 suspected smugglers. Michael Olaleye was at a media briefing by National Coordinator of the Special Strike Force, Deputy Comptroller Abdullahi Kirawa. We hope to bring you that report much later. Now, it is a known fact that most Nigerians are eager to see the end of the farmers-herders conflict that has done nobody any good. So, when an initiative to end the trend comes up, everybody should take notice and pray for it to succeed. That's why the promise by the Adamawa chapter of the Tibital Pulako John the Jam Foundation to end the crisis in the state is worth praying for. Rayano Bala reports that the foundation, which visited Governor Muhammad Jibrila, also threw its weight behind President Buhari come 2019.
Tabital Pulaku John the Jam Foundation is a group of Fulani people out to promote peace and unity in the society, especially with the lingering crisis between farmers and herders. Chairman of the foundation in Adamawa State, Abdu Ali, said, Fulanis are peace-loving people and efforts are being made to ensure a sustainable peace in the country, irrespective of ethnic or religious affiliations. Members of Tabital Pulaku John Dejam said, apart from initiating peace processes, the foundation is also mobilizing support for the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari and Governor Muhammad Umar Jibrila because of the achievements recorded in their administrations.
We support and we call all Fulanis and all languages in this country to vote President Muhammadu Buhari, Adamawa State Muhammadu Jibrila Bindo, and all candidates of APC.
Governor Muhammad Umar Jibrila tasked the foundation to explore all avenues at ensuring peace and stability in the state through consultations and harmonious living.
We all know when you are talking of security, Adamawa State is one of the frontline states. And we have very discussions with the leadership and the members. There are over thousands of them.
Similarly, over 30,000 women trained by the state government on various skills also registered their support to President Muhammadu Buhari and all APC candidates in the forthcoming 2019 elections. In Yola, Rayanu Bala, NTA News.
It started with the Abuja-Kaduna train service. Now, Abuja residents have gone to a new dimension with the Abuja Metro train, which has changed the face of movement in the nation's capital. Well, like they say, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I will therefore advise that you come have a taste of the train service. But for now, Oyedaya Kalwaka, who has savored the service from the city center to the airport, will whet your appetite with an experience she says has comfort, class and color.
With all the elements of sophistication, the Abuja Metro Terminal is inviting and soothing. Timeliness is the name of the game, as without any delay, the train arrives for departure.
It is about 40 minutes ride from Abuja City Center to the airport. Apart from the pleasurable ride, it is comfortable, cheaper and faster, eliminating traffic congestion. Hello.
For residents who for many years have been restricted to travel by road, this experience, they say, is splendid as it has changed the style of travel.
Yeah, it's really fantastic.
Abubakar Musa is a civil servant who works in Idu district of Abuja but lives in Apo district. The train, he says, has transformed his daily shuttle to work and life is easier now.
I really enjoy it. I always board the train to Idu every day for work.
For many others, the train service has changed their style of traveling, just like Abubakar.
The government have really done a very good job for giving us this metro train. It's convenient, the space, everything is just good.
Even passengers running to catch a flight at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport are now able to target the train and cut out previous inconveniences.
This one is definite time to get there for the next train to where I'm going to.
It's far more convenient.
At the airport, the transformation going on is so visible and cannot be missed. The local terminal dazzles with state-of-the-art technology.
Last time we were here early this year, what is on ground wasn't on ground. I want to congratulate and appreciate the work done so far.
It means we can get things right in this country. It's just the willpower, the decision, and the passion.
The massive new international terminal is ready just for the exterior works to be completed and the experience begins.
Ensuring that all facilities are in place in the airport to make it passenger friendly. Continue to maintain our facilities here. Even the old one, we will not let it go.
And very soon, there will be easy flow in and out of the airport as the construction of the modern park is ongoing. Talking about car parks, the metro service has begun to affect the business of commercial drivers.
The business a little bit slow, well. Almost 25% of the distance has been dropped.
With this sound, the train beckons for our return back to the city. Pleasant ride back to the city, sure it was. As we say in Nigerian local parlors, body no be wood, with the comfort I dozed off. Oyinaya Kaloka, NTA News.
So when will you go to have a feel of that train? Nigerian army repositions troops in Yobe to tackle insurgents. These and other stories when we come back.
Buhari can't wake me for death. As my matter be, it be like he say, person die, person God can't wake him. Now so Buhari can't wake me from death. But I not get something when they go give you unless thank you. I did get change to make farm. Then he helped me house. The house when I did before, he dey link. Before I born, 5 pikin. You know, I no get food when I go give them. That's why I share them. But now my pikin they near me. Sunday with me now. No be like before. I happy. I thank you well. I no see him, but God go carry my go meet her where I dey.
Madam. Brought us as usual.
As usual. You have no problem.
For the three
you are welcome, sir.
As usual, yeah?
Welcome.
You take that one.
Yes.
That
one. You don't understand? We want Nigerian homegrown rice. Finish. You don't have?
You don't have?
Join the rice revolution today.
No other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. to come to chocolate rice of made in Nigeria here. And see how it are made.
Correct.
How they are cook it.
Correct.
Homegrown rice are good for your health. It boosts our economy and give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Experience, they say, is the best teacher.
They hold us from the sea. Thank God that we came back home. They should not go there because it's not good. It's a very bad place. So they just my advice. Even now, sir, they are shooting the boat they are going to use to go Italy. May they stop it. Our country is good. Our country is a blessed country. Now I know our country is a blessed country. I know before I for not travel from Nigeria to Libya. I know how much I spent.
Let these personal experiences serve as a lesson to all who would repeat their mistakes. A word is enough for the wise.
This is a public service announcement Brought to you by NT.
Extraordinary could be right there in front of you, without you even knowing it. It's something unique, rich and rewarding, full of character. A bold expression of flavor like no other. Discover extraordinary flavor. Guinness, made of more.
To NTA News Extra. Welcome back. About 1 month after Vice President Yemi Osinbajo intervened to untangle the Apapa traffic gridlock, the problem still persists. Now, the Traffic Control Task Force says it will begin removing empty tankers and containers on several roads leading to Apapa Port. Dotun Oguyemi reports.
A month after the Vice President visited, consultations continue towards resolving a problem that has remained intraceable. The tankers continue to hog the roads and bridges, making going into and out of Apapa Port a nightmare. This is yet another consultation with Commodore Eyo Okun of NNS Beecroft and other stakeholders attempting to resolve the same issues that have been in contention. They are still talking about lack of truck parks, holding bays and bad roads, among others.
Trucks that do not have anything to do within Apapa axis should not be allowed to stand on the roads around Apapa.
The commander, NNS Beecroft, repeated what has become a recurring promise that motorists will soon enjoy seamless flow of traffic on the axis.
I assure the Goshen that we are going to do all that is necessary and with the help of the people that we are engaging with.
In the meantime, a huge price is being paid for the persisting traffic gridlock. Chairman of Apapa local government says for the last 5 years, revenue generation has been declining steadily.
Here I can say categorically we approach 120. As I'm talking to you, everything has drastically come down.
Stakeholders believe that terminal operators are not working in compliance with the authorities in ensuring that these tankers and containers are moved off the road, while some others believe that lack of scheduling system at the port, as well as bad road networks leading to the ports, are also contributing factors to this lingering problem. In Lagos, Dotun Oguyemi, NTA News.
Now, Nigeria says it will further strengthen existing cooperation with Niger Republic in its fight against terrorism and cross-border crimes. Minister of Defense Mansurudan Ali affirmed this while on an official visit to Niger Republic, where he was received by President Muhammadu Isufu. President Isufu expressed gratitude to Muhammadu Buhari for providing good leadership in the sub-region, which had led to the successes recorded in the fight against insurgency. The Nigerian Minister of Defense Mansurudan Ali signed a memorandum of understanding on joint operations along the Niger border regions with Sokoto, Zamfara and Katsina states, as well as the establishment of a common border monitoring mechanism. Now, let me ask you, if birds begin to fly without perching, what would a hunter do? Of course, he will learn to shoot at it in flight without missing. This is what the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, said will happen to criminal elements so as to deny them the opportunity of hibernating. The Army top brass gave this assurance at the groundbreaking ceremony of a military cantonment in Damaturu, Yobe State. Ismail Musa is here with the story.
Yobe State in northeast Nigeria has suffered attacks from the Boko Haram terrorist group. With the state bordering Niger, the area is also prone to transborder crime, proliferation of small and light weapons.
You'll agree with me that it's time such strategic military location is established in this part of the country, especially in view of our counterinsurgency operations. Let me acknowledge the tremendous contribution of the Yobe State government.
the project will provide barracks that will support the activities of 2 military battalions and Sector 2 Operation Lafia Dole operating in Yobe State. This will further secure the state and the region through enhanced rapid response to security threats. The land for the project and this Level 2 military hospital was donated by Yobe State government. Brigade to be situated here in Damaturu has been captured in the Nigerian Army Order of Battle from Damaturu in Yobe State. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
No hiding place for criminals in the country. Now the federal government has received the 2018 United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization UNESCO Award for Literacy and Skills Acquisition for Nigerian prison inmates. This is part of the positive results of the prisons reforms embarked upon by the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration. Marjanatu Adam Said reports.
In civilized societies, what inmates are made to lose is their freedom only. They have access to other amenities available to others outside prisons. Since inception, the present administration has remained committed to implementing prisons reform policies in the areas of welfare, rehabilitation, and protection of the rights and improving the plight of prison inmates. Minister of Interior Abdulrahman Bello Dambazo, while receiving the 2018 UNESCO Award on behalf of the federal government, said already more funds have been approved to improve the condition of prisons and inmates in line with United Nations standards.
Our prisons are overcrowded, but prisons reforms is not just about the congestion of the prison. It is part of it. It is also about treatment, rehabilitation, and reformation of the prisoners. It is about the welfare of the prisoners and the staff.
UNESCO representative believe that the award to Nigerian Prison Service is well deserved. The era of prison inmates coming out of prisons is over under the present administration. Former South African President Nelson Mandela of blessed memory once said, "The strength of a nation is being measured by the way it takes care of its prisons or prison inmates." So, if your country is ready for development, the welfare of prison inmates must be taken into consideration. And from the look of things, the present administration is ready for development. In Abuja, Marjanatu Adam Said, NTA News.
A new division of the Federal Capital Territory Judiciary has been inaugurated to effectively bring justice closer to all parts of the nation's capital. This brings to fore the judicial divisions in the Federal Capital Territory, as judiciary correspondent Femi Okewo reports.
As part of the efforts of the Chief Judge of the FCT High Court to expand the judicial services of the court, 2 divisions had previously been inaugurated. They are the Gwagwalada and Buhari judicial divisions. In view of the high population of people that reside in Nyanya, Kauru, and other settlements in that part of the FCT, Justice Ishak Bello has now added a new judicial division to the court. The division was inaugurated by the President of the Nigerian Bar Association, Mr. Paul Usoro.
The cost of having to achieve justice or attend justice or access justice must not be too high to discourage litigants.
This will not only avail opportunities to all and sundry, especially the underprivileged members of our society, to ventilate their dispute before the court at very minimal expense and great convenience, but to also aid in the expansion of the franchise of the bar within the FCT with the inauguration of more branches.
The community is particularly appreciative of the step which brings justice closer to the people. In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
Fake news. That's right, fake news. I am sure you know these 2 words are becoming popular worldwide. I am also sure you know the devastating effects of fake news. No wonder the federal government is taking stringent measures to halt the dangerous trend, because the penchant for the spread of fake news and hate speech is fueling even political tensions. In this report, Busola Owaru sought to know how hate speech and fake news can be stopped.
Fake news which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security.
For any fake news to come is an idea, and there is no smoke without fire.
Nowadays, social media has become a veritable tool for the spread of unverified and fabricated news among Nigerians, as horrific videos and write-ups are spread, attributing them to happenings in Nigeria without verifying the sources. By so doing, misleading the public, both the literate and not so literate. Of course, the spread of this news, now tagged as fake news, has been for a long time. The federal government, in its bid to curb this menace, recently launched a war against fake news.
I think is causing this is politics. We should be very careful when we are trying to prevent fake news. Otherwise, genuine and genuine news will have intact fake by those in power.
As a reporter, I balance my reports. I check from you, my source, and I cross-check from what he has told me.
Along the political lines, that's what we call a political bomb, where political opponents attempt to discredit themselves. So fake news trends along that line.
As the country prepares for the 2019 general elections, the persistence of the issue of fake news has become a matter for concern, as some people believe these are plans by some people to disrupt the 2019 election.
There should be an aspect that will be able to have a severe punishment for any person that involved in such an act.
While the country continues to grapple with ways of moving forward, the country frowns at hate speech and fake news.
Experts say misinformation and the spread of fake news in Nigeria in most cases are caused by lack of official information, likely to create chaos in Ibadan. Busola Owaru, NTA News.
Shelter is ranked second amongst the basic human needs. Now, if shelter ranks that high, it naturally follows that it needs to be properly planned, designed, constructed and maintained to achieve the desired level of comfort and especially safety. However, the incidents of buildings collapse and houses being washed away by flooding are becoming too common in Nigeria. What is the way out? Deborah Bruskel Sunday sets out to find out.
Every day, new buildings like this spring up across the country, which no doubt is contributing to national development. However, records have shown that untested soil integrity, use of substandard building materials, employment of quacks instead of professionals for the job, and corruption have contributed immensely to most of the recorded building failures.
This can be dated back to the first occurrence in Mokola, Oyo State in 1974, with a two-story building, and up to date, similar and even worse cases are being experienced. And the most recent is the collapse of a four-story building near the popular Jabi Park in the Abuja metropolis that claimed 2 lives, which eyewitness said has been abandoned for about 18 years before workers were remobilized to sites.
Exactly 10 minutes after 1. Exactly 10 minutes after 1. I just packed out to receive a call. I heard a sound as if firewood is being broken. I turned. Within 60 seconds, 1 minute, this building was down. Woo, like this.
When he came out, I now said a lot of 450 naira for them. Immediately the guy went in. It's not up to 5 minutes, the building collapsed. I'm so lucky. I just want to thank God.
You can't say you are not doing supervision. It is not. It is not. If you look at it, you see that everyday development control is at demolition such buildings. And if you abandon a building for a while, you have to carry out an integrity test, get the development control to certify before you continue the building.
Carried specimens of road we pulled out of concrete to show that there were improprieties in materials that led to the catastrophic collapse of this.
And what we are seeing physically on the ground need to be tested
the reinforcement, the concrete, and other materials.
In spite of repeated calls by victims, experts, and even other Nigerians, why is it it seems there is no end to this challenge?
Engage the right personnel, you will get the best result. Believe you me, we have been investigating. In many cases, 99% of the cases, you discover that professionals are not involved.
Of more concern is the lack of punishment for those responsible for the collapses.
There has to be somebody who will say, okay, look, let's take a decision, clean out the country of all defective buildings that have potentials for collapse.
The engineers also identified non-implementation of government policies. To many, these may just be excuses, as putting an end to this is the dream of all Nigerians. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
So far, so good, but we have one more segment. Please don't go away.
Extraordinary could be right there in front of you, without you even knowing it. It's something unique, rich and rewarding, full of character, a bold expression of flavor like no other. Discover extraordinary flavor. Guinness, made of more.
This is to announce the passing of our mother, Hajia Zainab Abdullahi Oja Anyiba. She was aged 79. Special 40th day prayer comes up on 23rd September 2018 at Alhaji Abdullahi Adamu Compound, number 12, Old Egume Road, Anyiba, Dekina Local Government, Kogi State. Time 10 a.m. She is survived by many children and grandchildren, amongst whom are Hajia Salamatu Beiwa Umar Eluma, National Woman Leader of All Progressives Congress, APC, and Right Honorable Hassan Abdullahi, Deputy Speaker, Kogi State House of Assembly. Hajia Salamatu Beiwa Umar Eluma, APC National Woman Leader. Announcer.
Welcome back to NTA News Extra. North Korea agrees to shut missile site. Details of these and more with Obiageli Ugwoke on news across the globe.
We begin with Togo's politics. Togo has announced that its legislative and local elections will hold on December 16th and 20th, as well as referendum on constitutional reforms. Meanwhile, mass anti-government rallies have repeatedly been held across the country, with protesters demanding an end to the 50-year rule by the Nasimbe family and constitutional reform, including a two-term limit for president. The nationwide demonstrations have led to clashes between security forces and protesters, which have turned deadly. And turning now to Korean summit, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has agreed to shut down one of the country's main missile testing and launch sites. After meeting in Pyongyang, the two leaders agreed on a way to achieve denuclearization. The agreement was described by Mr. Kim as a leap forward towards military peace on the peninsula. In Pakistan, Islamabad's High Court has ordered the release of an ex-Prime Minister, Nawaz Sharif, 2 months after he began a 10-year jail sentence over corruption. The court suspended the sentences of Mr. Sharif, his daughter and son-in-law, Safdar Awan, Wednesday after their appeal. The ruling came after Mr. Sharif's wife, Kulsum Nawaz, died from cancer in London. They were briefly allowed out of prison to attend her funeral. That's it from this end. To stay tuned for the rest of the news, I'm Obiageli Ugoke.
And in sports, football administrators in Katsina for elective Congress as World Women's number 3 and US Open champion records another victory at home. For more, it's over to Amanzi Marcos on Sports Update.
Head coach of Nigeria's under-21 men's volleyball team, Elam Eli Sharma, has reviewed the country's inability to qualify for the 2019 World Championships after finishing 5th at the 2018 under-21 AFCON in Abuja, following stretch sets victory over Congo Democratic Republic on Tuesday at the Package B section of the Abuja National Stadium. Eli Sharma, who was emotional while speaking with NTA Sports, hopes the team is kept together as they will soon be a force to reckon with on the continent, a view well shared by some of his players.
I'm not happy because Nigerian flag is not going to be hosted during the World Championship.
The under-17 that just came back won their championship, and some of the players are here. And with hope, 2-3 years from now, we'll come out with a strong team.
Key football stakeholders in Nigeria are now in Katsina for the Nigeria Football Federation Elective Congress holding on Thursday, where the incumbent Amma Joe Pinnick is seeking a second tenure as president of the Nigeria Football Federation for the 2018-2022 term. The trio of Taiwo Ogunjobi, Chinedu Okoye and Aminu Maigari are also contesting for the presidency. 44 delegates will choose 11 from a list of 24 candidates to constitute the NFF Executive Committee, which has 15 members with 4 appointed. Meanwhile, Naomi Osaka of Japan Wednesday won her first match since winning the women's title at the 2018 US Open in New York. At the Pacific Open at home in Tokyo, the Japanese defeated Slovakia's Dominika Cibulkova 6-2, 6-1 in 59 minutes. The third seed, who is the tournament's 2016 champion, said she did not feel any pressure on her way to victory. With Sports Update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
Now, a quick look at the weather picture across the country. We'd like to thank you for watching NTA News Extra this week, another time. My name is Kenan Imba Abolike. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.
Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
You don't do. I don't tire for all the things where you dey yarn.
Lord don't be right.
You dey yarn no pata. Shey you think say na only you fit buga? I go show you.
This matter don't pass, be careful.
You dey show yourself all these years, I just dey look you. This time, you go know the kind of person we are.
I've been the watch as you dey try scatter my future.
The future where I dey try
organize for myself.
Small. Na him you dey try kill, abi?
Na to kill, scatter, and destroy my pearls always do your agenda, abi? Oh, but you know fit, not this time.
I don't set my own agenda.
I know how where your agenda go fit past my agenda.
Because my agenda strong past your agenda.
For this election, The agenda now.
It's our future.
No violence.
Just vote.
Set the agenda for this election. No violence, just vote.
Imagine a station where you access information. Think of a station that creates awareness for national development. Imagine a station that prepares you for a bright and greater future. A station for all ages. Documentaries, classroom and television, events coverage, children's programs and variety shows. Always stay tuned to NTA Knowledge on the StarTimes platform, channel 359. For partnership, sponsorship and advert placements, contact us on NTA Knowledge. NTA Knowledge, learning to broaden horizon.
We're talking about balanced diet now, we're talking about healthy living, and we're talking about complex carbohydrates.
And you see, the essence of night and day is that day we can go for our daily activities, while the night is meant for us to have a very sound sleep.
Also, you need to exercise. It may sound counterintuitive, like why would you exercise when you're underweight? But the truth is it helps in your fat distribution. And it also
everyone is talking about increased physical movement, increased physical ability. What about some light exercise? We can do it together.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Good evening and welcome to Inside the Senate. I am Wamde Tikam. With the Senate still on recess, we bring you a review of oversight activities of some of the Senate standing committees. They include the Committee on Works, on Health, as well as the Custom and Excise, amongst others. The review will take us through project sites as well as institutions under the purview of various committees. The idea is to have first-hand the feel of the level of infrastructural development taking place in the country. Details of the review after the break. Stay tuned, don't go away. Welcome back. The committee is the engine room through which the Senate performs its duty, particularly through oversight functions, amongst other things. One such committee is the Committee on Works, which in the performance of its oversight duties toured some of the nation's federal highways. One such road was the Obajana-Kaba-Ilorin Road in Kogi and Kwara State, then under construction. At the Obajana-Kaba section of the road, the committee noticed with satisfaction the use of concrete for the construction instead of asphalt. Members were told that the contract was awarded at the cost of 5.2 billion naira using asphalt. But the contractor, AG Dangote, opted for the use of concrete and in the process incurring additional cost of 6.3 billion naira, describing it as its corporate social responsibility. An engineer spoke further on this.
We have this road 40, 50 years.
1 year ago we did some study, and today the concrete is almost 23% less expensive than asphalt.
Committee chairman expressed delight at the idea while also advising the contractor.
I think it's like a welcomed idea. Like Dangote is a businessman doing making up cement, and we have stones all over the country. So virtually we are not importing bitumen. I think that also saves the cost of our foreign exchange and also the reserve we have on dollar. So I believe it's an excellent project.
Committee members also inspected the Kaba Ilorin Road in Kogi and Kwara states. During the visit at the time, portions of the road were damaged by erosion and construction work by CGC construction firm was being slowed down due to lack of funds. But the committee chairman made promises that facilitated the completion of the road.
This section has been awarded by the government of President Muhammadu Buhari, and that is so much concerned that we should have good link roads along these areas. So therefore, we request the contractor immediately to come and rectify this section.
While in Ilorin, the Kwara state capital, the committee paid a courtesy call on Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed and briefed him on the work of the committee.
So far within Kwara state, we have 9 roads, which I believe these are all along to the hard work of the Senate President.
Responding, the governor promised to synergize with the National Assembly and the executive in order to address the infrastructural deficit in the state.
It's easier for us to hold on to the National Assembly because we know you can use your big stick to pad a few areas that are out of course to be on course. Because we are in a Nigeria today where we must demand for value for money. And value for money requires that we get the right things done rightly.
While in Delta State in the course of its oversight, Committee Chairman Senator Kabiru Gaya spoke on the imperative of having the second Niger bridge and frowned at the slow pace of work on the bridge, which is being carried in partnership with Julius Berger in a public-private partnership agreement.
We learned that the project has been taking a very slow pace, and the government is very much concerned. Already 18 billion naira was disbursed, and for this year 2016 budget, we are able to put 13 billion naira on it. So a total of 31 billion. So based on our record, out of 120 billion naira, the counterpart funding of the government is supposed to be 30 or 31 billion naira. So if the company gets this total 31 billion, it means government has already put on its own